who stop this bloodshed for Ukrainian women, for Ukrainian soldiers, for children, for innocent people who die now. What for? If we not stop this enemy now, he will continue. He holded atom weapons as a monkey and just show you and threat you and say, look at me, I scare you, but I do what I want. Where is a real politician who can stop this one? If with political will, nobody listen there, if the Putin not believe any law, no law of humanity, no law about war, how to you need to do, no anything in his law as a law on him.
Russia, a country that had previously attacked Chechnya, Georgia, they poisoned people in our country with a nerve agent. And despite all the outrage, they did not suffer proper reprisals. There are protests across Russia. 7,000 brave Russians have been arrested protesting against the war in the Ukraine, and the Russian army have suffered setbacks.
Yesterday I came here to the Old Market Square with this poster saying I'm Russian and I'm sorry. Many people said I have nothing to be sorry for. I disagree. In 22 years, us Russians, we did not fight hard enough to throw this monster out of Kremlin. I cannot protest safely in Russia right now because I can be arrested and go to jail up to 15 years. I'm not allowed legally to call this a war. What I'm doing right now is treason in Russia. My mother does not believe me when I tell her what is going on. Russia is being cut off from the entire world, from BBC News, every day. Independent mass media are being closed every day. But despite all of it, millions of people are going out on the Russian streets today in Moscow, St. Petersburg, Novosibirsk. Russians are against the war. Putin must go. Slava Ukraini! Slava Ukraini! Thank you.
This government has some of the worst immigration legislation anywhere in Europe. They left the EU in order to pursue that agenda. Ukrainian people are being denied access to coming to Britain because they don't have the paperwork. They can't get a visa. They don't have the appropriate level of family already here. We have to have a clear message today that Putin is our enemy and the Ukrainian people are our friends. And every Ukrainian fleeing Ukraine now shall be welcomed here and no obstacles placed in their way.
Putin has signed his own death sentence. He can ban all independent media. He can detain all the protesters and label us traitors. But he can't hide the dead bodies. He can't hide the poor Ukrainian civilians that died at his hand. And he can't hide the bodies of Russian boys that had been sent to war to die. And when their mothers don't see them return, when all they get is coffins, they will not stay silent. Thank you.
This is an unprovoked attack, an act of war by Putin, and all of us must stand in absolute solidarity with those resisting that imperialist regime. I think today is a really beautiful showing of solidarity between Ukrainian people, Russians, Poles, Brits, Lithuanians, Latvians, Syrians, Kurds, all people who have shared interests and many of whom have experienced similar brutal regimes. This week, the Home Secretary announced some new visa routes for Ukrainians. But let's be clear, while these are welcome, they're better than what we had before, they're not enough. We need to waive all visa restrictions, not just be waving flags. And I think it's important to say as well that the Nationality and Borders Bill that this government has forced through, which criminalises refugees reaching our shores, denies people the right to asylum, and even for those who do manage to achieve leave to remain, threatens them with deportation. That is extremely hypocritical of this government when they're professing to support Ukrainian refugees, and we know that they're not even doing enough for Ukrainians, but it shines a light on the wider hostile environment that this government has implemented, and all of us have to stand together against that. I want to speak a little bit about sanctions, because this is something that this Conservative government has dragged its heels on. We know that the Tories have received £2 million from Russian oligarchs. They don't want to sanction their donors. We know that Boris Johnson personally intervened so that his friend could join the House of Lords. And we've seen that while other countries are seizing oligarch super yachts, our country is giving them 18 months to move them. I want to reiterate again that when we speak about solidarity with the Ukrainian people and against Putin's regime, we're not speaking against the Russian people. They are at extreme risk of persecution, those who are taking to the streets in St. Petersburg and Moscow and other cities. And we have to stand in solidarity with them and to offer them refuge for those who want it. But we've also got to draw a point here about the Tories' hypocrisy again, that they're saying that they admire the bravery of Russians who are resisting Putin, while at the same time forcing through a policing bill that would criminalise noisy protest in this country. And then I'd just like to finish on one last word of caution, and this is about a no-fly zone. And I understand that there may be disagreements here, and I can understand why many Ukrainian people want a no-fly zone, but I think we have to be extremely wary of that. That could be a very dangerous escalation that could result in full-blown nuclear war. But the message of today is overwhelmingly solidarity with the Ukrainian people, solidarity with Russians protesting Putin, and let us keep gathering here today as a city to resist Putin. Thank you.
Браття, у